first panel. About half, maybe 60%. Right, so I asked the first panel, because this is the 10th year of Sci-Fi Scarborough, has anybody been here for all 10? And we had one gentleman who said yes. So who's been here for all 10? Oh, go, congratulations. Anybody else has been here for all 10? Down at the back, great, well done. So nice.
I mean, I get coming back to the convention, but coming back into this bit for me and you, that just seems a little bit...
I feel quite blessed there. Yeah.
I'm a bit more concerned for our audience, to be fair. So just a quick recap for those of you who weren't in the first one. This year is the first year that we are live streaming the talks, so they are going out on the internet. They will be recorded and saved onto the Sci-Fi Scarborough YouTube channel. Cameras are only on the stage, you can't be seen, so don't worry about it. Possibly the backs of your heads. So we said earlier, if you've got a very distinctive back of your head, and you're with somebody you shouldn't be, move now.
So our next panel here at Scarborough comes from a galaxy far, far away. And we won't go giving you a long introduction, because writing one was a bit too much effort, and frankly...
Well, if you haven't heard of Star Wars, then this is not the panel you're looking for. So, please give a very warm SFS welcome to Neon Nub, a big Stark Lighter, even worse, and Greedo.
Also known as Mike Quinn, Garrick Hagan, and Paul Blake.
Phone out because there you go.
I said they could cartwheel onto the stage. I thought for a moment they were actually going to do it. It'd be a Sci-Fi Scarborough first, that one. Right, so we normally start a bit of a tradition here that we've developed the last 3 or 4 years of what we call the quick fire round, where we just fire some simple questions. Now we have noticed the microphones have been a bit dicky, haven't they?
Check.
So you might have to smash it against something in a few minutes' time, but we'll see.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, we've got your eyes on you on the desk. Right, so we'll start off with a nice easy one. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Nice. Derek?
No, cats.
Yes.
Depends on the gravy.
Oh.
Ouch.
There's always one.
Now, we did go for some audience participation, the first one. Cats or dogs, guys? Oh, there's more cats people.
We've got more cats people this year. Okay, this time. Yeah, hour. Oh, it's been a long day already. So most of us have had a hotel breakfast today. So brown or red sauce?
Brown for me, always brown up north. I am up north, aren't I? Yes, I am.
Oh, you're very up north, definitely.
Yeah, ketchup or brown sauce? Right, how about your favourite place to go on holiday?
Just come back, Vietnam. Hey, come on, Vietnam is pretty cool, cheap, very expensive to get there, fantastic for a holiday. I also like Taiwan, I like Hong Kong, and I particularly like Scarborough. It's a small seaside town.
Very smooth.
On the East Coast. I can recommend it. They have very good fudge and ice cream, and fish and chips as well. So that's a full selection for you to choose from.
Some of us are too busy to have holidays or cannot afford them, so I couldn't tell you when. My life is one big holiday. I don't even know what a holiday is anymore. I used to go to Butlins when I was a kid, though. Does that count? Yeah.
We've seen you online at the TARDIS.
Little town on the Costa del Sol, I'm afraid, where I have a terribly old and terribly run down what they call a cortijo, a little farmhouse of which I am very fond. And I invite you all, if you are down that way, to drop in to what they call the Cortijo des Ingleses, where we live like animals, so the Spaniards say.
Yeah, no, I'm doing something wrong, apparently. So I'm going to go behind here and do a puppet show. Yeah. I know my place.
What's your favourite place to eat out?
I personally one of my kids runs a seafood restaurant down south, so I like going there because it's free.
Yorkshire price, as we call it.
What's your favourite place to eat out?
Oh, God. I like Italian. I have a little Balham at restaurant right around the corner called Giulio's. Delightful.
I know Giulio. He's a very nice man.
Lovely guy.
I can't afford to eat out, so I have to cook at home. Actually, I do like a jolly good Sunday roast at a pub near me. Yes, absolutely delicious. But mostly I like to cook.
Now, one of the revelations from last year's panel, last year's Doctor Who panel as it was that Colin Baker and Terry Malloy were both huge fans of Crocs, you know, the sort of rubber shoes. So, Crocs, yes or no?
Crocs, definitely no for me. I mean, I think they originated from the Dutch clogs, didn't they, really? They sort of look like a clog. I prefer a clog because I find when you're at that late night stage, as I am often drunk late at night, if you've got a clog on, you can get the first boot in easier than with a Croc, which is made of plastic. So there's not so much damage that can be caused.
Where would
by
you
the
wear these
Croc.
things?
Well, if you're Colin Baker, everywhere by the sound of it,
Oh,
from what our
okay.
last panel was saying. So,
Well,
yeah.
would you wear them at home?
I would, yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay. So no, not for me then.
No, well, I mean, I love the idea of Crocs, but what I have in Spain, I'm going to go right back to Almamola.
Great, rub it in.
Clogs. I'll tell you why. Because when you open the door for the first time, when you go down to this little cortillo, you got the heavy, loud-sounding sandals or clogs to scare away the rats, okay? And once they've gone, then the house is yours. I mean, it's theirs for, 9 months of the year. There you go. There's clogs for me.
Right, okay then. So let's get on to some of the actual questions. So, Paul, you like these?
We've got about 3 pages of them. We'll give you some more tomorrow, actually.
So you were both obviously in the first Star Wars film, as we now know at Episode 4, A New Hope. Now, we all see Star Wars as a pivotal moment in cinematic history. But obviously at the time you were cast, it was just some spacey thing. Now, our notes here say that, Garrick, you were filming for the BBC and upset that you weren't going on to Shakespeare, like your colleagues, but were going to go get a free trip to Tunisia. And Paul, you said on set enough some bloke stood under a special model where the director was, and if he'd get you a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
and that's George Lucas underneath the Millennium Falcon. So, what was it like months after filming, suddenly the thing blow up and just bigger and bigger?
Yeah, I was. Most of these very attractive young people here weren't remember 1976. Actually, I mean, it's 1966, which seems impossible now. 50 years ago. But when we made it, we all thought we were in Attack of the Killer Tomatoes because the only sci-fi films made in the 70s were really B movies, and pretty bad ones, like Attack of the Tomatoes. So most of the first movie couldn't achieve. We thought we'll get in and out of here because we'll never see it again. And we'll just go straight to whatever, to video. But no hope at all. However, after it came out, I thought amazing. My wife's in the audience, but I think we were in Greece, actually. 6 months later, the movie was released. And we just have a swim, and we met some Americans, and we talked to them. And they said, we were acting, and they said, that we've known. No, we're very into a bit of theatre. Television. That was a movie about I don't know what's happened. It's called Blue Harvest, I think then. No, changed the name. It's called Star Wars. And they said, Star Wars. I said, is that what it's called? And they said, yeah, you're in Star Wars. I said, yeah, and I think at that point we realised it's starting to get that huge following. Well, it took a long time. I mean, everybody was famous. The minute it came out, it was great. But that huge following took a long time, 10 years to build up. But the time it was a year later, time about cinema. And like everybody, as soon as the full grooves and Dolby stereo sound gets in, I was lost and with it. And we might be a movie or not, I might be cut. Done at that point. So I had to miss the scene starting with the antenna alien starting playing it, and I recognized that. And I thought, oh my God, I might be in it here. And then I saw it, I jumped, I said, that's me! So that was my first
Oh,
reaction.
amazing. So Mike, when you joined us, they were two men.
Yes.
So obviously, Empire was bigger. The first one.
I was a big fan, but definitely, yeah. Especially of Yoda, as a Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. So.
I mean, we got some tears with
Yeah,
you.
Yoda. I did the same with him, William Foster and Miss Piggy. He was interesting. Plus, I was small, so in the little demo hut and everything. I'm going to sneeze, hang on. So, but what was actually was 1976. Like 4 years after the Dawn. Isn't it great to think about that? You know, please how quickly it's come in a few days from back to kind of sound, and now we're in this whole other era where the industry's doing it more yet again. It's something it's incredible to be part of the evolution.
From the dawn of sound. I did a film here in the same area, here in Africa. And so the ambiance of the film was familiar to me. I talked about in my first meeting with Julie, because I didn't say very much then, and he probably doesn't very much. But we talked about the desert. And I mentioned that I wore a cape, and actually because it fended off the heat and sun in Libya that I had about 13 months at that now called the mesh. And I know that things changed in the time, but at the time it was all very friendly Arab. But anyway, that's what I talked to Joy about, and I hadn't said anything for a little while. And finally, the casting director called me and told me that I was which I knew nothing. I had seen the script. And there on the table was a kind of draft copy of something called the Journal of the Wills, WLS. And I thought, this could go on, this whole side. But I had no idea of what the journey of the wills were or pigs was. And I met Mark, who was in his costume thing. He said, "Oh, you pigs! That's the best part. You died." I said, "Oh, do I?" Okay. It's a hug. And we had a lovely hug, and that's how a kind of relationship started between and Luke. And so this whole journey started from the instance and ended up now as a veteran still going on 40 years later. And very grateful to it.
Nepal.
Because the big starlighter was his name, wasn't it?
Our best oxymoron in history.
Not to be confused with big cigarette lighter. Yeah.
There was a petrol station somewhere near George's house.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Paul, we're going to have to talk about this controversy in this scene, but in the last panel with who I had a little friend in the same within the same town. He was a bit of a hero in our house. My mum used to idolise him. Now, my brother idolised Greedo to the point that in his real class photo, everybody knows. We didn't know this at the time. He was on the end of the row, and it's Greedo starts in his pocket. And when the camera starts, he held it next to him like this, and nobody noticed until the photos went on the wall. And so, they went to school in 1970. So that's my Greedo. So this changed the who shot first. What thoughts did you one way to the other? What have you made of the whole background? How do you care about the secrecy? It's not objective about the first thoughts since.
Well, that's sorry, I love sort of bombing. I'm realised over the years. I'm merely the passenger in Greedo's journey. I have to be inside him. His image is not mine, really. For the 4 years, I really don't know. I've learned with him, so that's a bit of an honour. But the whole thing, of course, I mean, my wife insists, and I ask everybody their opinion on it now, because everyone does have an opinion. That's the attraction of all Star Wars you see in the movies, and like guys here and unlike gigs, everyone finds some kind of affiliation to carry the most like, or the most gone with during their. And again, we've grown with you guys, who were young when these movies are on, and we've grown up and stayed with you. And as to the actual shooting, original, nobody shot at all. Of course, we've seen, and the original thing said, in parentheses, right at the end, it's how she didn't even make 90s, and that we did. However, of course, for many years, still pressure by model in London, in America, to make Han Solo a little more correct and not be the scout that he was played as. And so, George changed the first time, and the new horror, the dark hands, and they changed it, and changed. A lot of information I heard from George himself, about 4 or 5 years, maybe just before COVID, when he said, and something was his thought on the thing, they wanted Han Solo much more like the original John Wayne character in and because a lot of the Star Wars sequences that were based on how much movies, particularly greatest the saloon boss, where the bad guys went to the bar to shoot good guy, who was John Wayne most of the time. John always gave bad guy the last reason first, and then he shot. And that was George's last explanation why he changed it for them. As I bet, as Harrison doesn't, he's less charming, I dare. But it's wonderful, but people do still enjoy the problem. That's still interesting in the scene.
Now, I saw you talk about visions, about Big's role was and then the revised of the movie, and it's been rewarding.
What was inside the back was the fact I smelled up in the hanger, and it shows that I had hair underneath the helmet. That was not to happen to me. But that seems a lot of times over the years. And I never had an explanation in writing or of George. But Gary, bless his heart, Gary producer, would say that really they didn't want 4.5 minutes of dialogue at the beginning of the picture. He followed the main characters into the sidetracked on Tatooine. But and Marcia, who was editing it, told them that they wanted a scene that is cut in the film. And that's what I found. A lot of people have seen it, particularly all of you have seen on to and so on. It's seen of intimacy between Mark and I because we had a nice relationship anyway in life and on screen. I'm like an older brother to Luke. And so it's different than film. I always thought that George had been told by the History Fox people it's too much like American Graffiti, the film that George on his path to stardom, celebrity, whatever. And they didn't want to, I didn't recall that particularly because we're on a different planet. We're not in the land of reality. We're in a galaxy far away.
So,
thank you for saying it was inserted. There are people around the planet who have inserted it themselves. There's a chap in Germany that isn't, and he's asking me to go over for the premiere of the right place. But I've declined it for many times.
so I think it came back in the Blu-ray, didn't it? So yeah. So moving on to the rest of your careers, Paul, you're always saying Colin Sands Crossroads. Now for the youngsters audience, Crossroads in a motel in the
Remember
woods.
Crossroads up?
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
Have my greatest sympathy, all of you. You spent valuable hours of your life watching Crossroads.
Famous for its shocky sets. It was 50 million, which big TV shows don't get away now
No,
with
I
so
was-
much out there.
Yeah, I was talking to someone earlier actually about that because it was 15. People said, no, it doesn't mean that you were asked close first all the time. And for years I said, no, it's just been film, and all the rest. Yes, it was. It was in my face. We were in London at them, and I remember my very young first daughter, and we couldn't swim or anything because too many coming up. So Colin Sands, So yeah, it was extraordinary, wasn't it? But it was great. But it wobbly set, and the fact that Noel Gordon never worked from the moment that it finished. I met Noel Gordon because she died about 6 months before I got to do it. But I do remember the green room. The green room is where all the time theatre or movies, which is a place where you relax before you don't sit in college or whatever. And I went to the first Crossroads, believe it or not, and went for the first on a Monday morning, and a very nice down on, and the stage manager ran up to me, Paul, dude, that's Nolly's chair. She'd been dead 6 months, so that's revered. She was in those other days. So it was cool. Sharon Ellis was it, and I can't remember their names now, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was phenomenal, which way I was about to.
Yeah, I was for telling you, but my opinion was, I was always in news. I'm dying. What's around pronunciation?
So you say what?
I said, I know, I've got a feeling it's wrong.
Correct. When I was an Alien, beginning of Return of the Jedi, before they had a creature, a list from a tip from Ireland, and he was literally, he didn't have a name, he was number 9 on the list, so he became 9, and then he changed to selling the toys and stuff like that. But he was never mentioned in any of the films, even though you now say, the Right Rise, there was right mentioned 9 times, and they're right, but it's number 9. Well done.
So we're talking about outside of Star Wars, Mike. Lost in hours.
Well, that's because I don't take holidays and I don't have places in other countries.
Working ends with Ireland, that'll be for most people. Some of the credits, Mike's Sarah Shark Creel, right, yeah, little Morris, sorry. So,
yeah. After touching it's very long. I mean, we all know that. So my career's been dying for years.
Absolutely not with us. But going in the beginning, we read that you went to school.
I would get to school. What we would then call experience. That's my excuse. And I would ride away to the studio. On hard days, so I'd see people like Kelly or Lewis and Ross ever, and they go, Jim Hen's guys know me. I'd be that I chill them on and not too much out of him.
You went to work when you left school?
I was in Jimmy. I was giving him a
Okay.
That was amazing.
Oh goodness! What was what's been your favourite job out of all of those?
It's my sometimes we have to do musicians we actors but when we do the connection. The Muppet singer, it's not right because such a beautiful song. So it's the when you got around and connection. Sometimes with Paul, right as well, he is a bit times on it. So yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. But then when we do that.
I thought I think Sarah, you know what, he played well.
Sometimes
even the story, and they're all company. But good friend,
so I don't know if Paul and Mum working from home or coming together having a podcast. But I say, you don't stop her. She's blind. She was always a reader, and for her, it's more available. She's in her back, freedom, lost into book, right? Therefore, so I'm wondering, because he books with great stories, is there a realization that some people just more jumps into the story?
I might have novel Peter audio, and he started me stories called the point first story. Because my partner, I grew up in radio. We started the hits in radio in Canada, and radio was a teacher for us. We were artists, but so that were live, and the sound from this video, so we had horses out there for the coconuts, banging the coconuts, and just did it, and it was called the Doorway to Fairyland. Now, Fairyland, anyone that saw beautiful looking through the sky. And we started with a violin, the door opening on Fairyland, so out in the box spring, and I both pulled it, we all had to choose off, we all had to learn how to hold a spit. Well, it's training. Our teacher then, Marcus, teacher director, she was running back, and it said, underline important for instance, and draw a line for a breath. And so it was a training for the young kids in front of a mic. Now this is all the way through, and when we got into our professional career here in England, Bill DeFries and I decided to start a poster, and then we went on to do Philip Pull's Dr. Star Trios. And so that was, I don't know how many of you have read Philip Pull, but some of you have it at the hands of Dark Terrific.
Fantastic.
Well, we can dump here at the front of the actors in that same old parts, and we did Philip as he produced books because they 5 years and all that. All that is, we behind myself, I work like an awful lot of energy. So what we do now is kind of rather reading and news. And I had some remarkable people recently. The next one doing is the head Formula 1 London, not the head Ernest in Formula 1, the racing. So he's going to, I'm all about Formula 1 at the moment, but that's where it's taken us. All its faces to our acting jobs. And I have a lot, we started Batman together and so on. Just faces that we have a great moment at all. We never missed a thing we've been working on audio. And all the time,
just say, I'm able to manage your books here, and we went forward in March, audio, well, all good audio stores to do.
Yeah, another marvelous leader. But what I got to up there, you listen to the all going with people have come up to me as singers always and said, listen to this on classic, and you've sat there for 20 hours, and I'm thrilled to. And I think it's a wonderful way to discover wonderful. And you make a book called Wolf Brother, which a lot of you have read or heard when you're younger. And I found some amazing words. I was on this book about women. Some comments on her, it's a privilege of working with wonderful actors and very famous people who I've met my good life. So I'm grateful for you.
But I think it's memorable for you guys. So if you've got a question, all of the things, take it in, I will come and kiss your microphone. Don't be shy. There's one of the behind you, Claire.
Oh, behind you, I can.
No. You like a lot of that, or you can't just get out and you go to lines?
I think it's about that you've watched shows in video games and computer games, and you follow that much and your experience that really.
And it is another, semi sort of field for acting, especially if I develop that. My experience in the game as well. What's remarkable was I've never been in a casting what's called Joker is a name Arkham Knight. I don't know whether any of you played that game or have. But it's gruesome. It's wonderful. And one design game. And Mark Hamill played the actual Joker. I made a professor goes mad and shoots himself. So it's kind of starting an adult game. It's a experience for not too much capture. And that reminds me of one of the other jobs I just had is with Andy doing United. I'm doing all of the Lord Rings. So we did Andy's recording for us now, and it would be incredible. And he did all of them, and for you, and he's very prominent in films now. So that's all. It's incredible. He did this totally, and everything he wrote, and he put.
You've got a question as well. That's the second time I've got to that.
I like things on network and but some of the stuff is like we record stuff in scenes or sometimes we'll do live what's it called with the Steve as well. But for us it's something coming out with a character, the voice is really starting character, and the voice comes from that. So you just about city voice and master, so it's a massive voice. But it comes from acting through the character, and that's what makes the character really interesting.
I was just thinking through lately, I noticed you were with Crystal, which was absolutely classic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't film well, so I think I have to do stuff with people. The other actor voice, the other actor, so I think this I'm listening to Silver can do the workshop, other things to watch the Crystal as well. And he's been reflections, he's going to visit, and so he that's good idea, and then he was after us, yeah.
Right, the standing floor.
Here, down. Who's your favourite Muppet to work with?
Yeah. It's all going to matter if I say one thing. But the Muppets can't be around the house. Allows that really. I'll be in front of these if I guess that they'll be in. I can't say what it is.
Very true.
The prosthetic, what are you saying? The big step, have I got that right?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
So, it's changed. Like, most of the internet is, it was like big controls for, I think, like, those hands, but I think it's now like people. Maybe 3 people on the face. It's now for the micro servers, and 1 2 people do so much more on the face. It's technique basically learn, you have to think, bragging back to what to do. So it takes a lot of rehearsal. But a lot of musicians really on trying. I've done really aesthetics anymore. Everything's master for me, master hand this. So, yeah, but otherwise, like, I'm pretty much the same. This tells you about more like the last video of Star Wars. I had the exact same mask and from the phone for it, and the exact same way we use all victims. I think they replace them so much further with the false. That's how good that's which I know.
I mentioned prosthetics. I was reading a series called Against Sea, like weekly with filming. And this is channel 4, but I had 3 hours with little net ladies in it. 3 hours, virtual animal, all age, personalized off, very low. And for 3 hours, it's needed on bus set. And I was first of all technical and technical control, not anything, but by the fact that they do them on the head, and they make the effect or whatever, material, and it part of the face. And it was so minute and detailed, it was a plus. And that came more and more killized. It sounds like a really job. In fact, because it was a con sign, it makes, I hope, yes, or make the fun as well as big. And that's what coming in the fall, I think would be called Gen Z. Now, with the title of Action, and podcast, and prosthetics are very much a part. I thought that should have been worker presented.
I think the guys got it really is a changed generation. I did the first twice in career, I don't more than Bruder. So I think in those days, you'd have a mask as such. Whereas today, you'd be made up for 4 or 5 hours. And then you also be made up for 2 to 3 stuff off. And so I think the process of you, and Hatch and White, and the other ones were understand above Harry. And you just sat there and had all of this, all of the head certified, together, and poured it in the right solution. So that's a go was the shape of your face, which then is your head. Then give that the modeler, or the designer within creative Bruder or emotion. So that's changed the thing. All of you back together, Harrison, and Star Wars, the things hold quite well. I just had a talking about time, but I mean, I completely forgotten. There's no called getting advertising. I don't know that really runs. He was prosthetic, but it was it was well. I think it was a hybrid prosthetic. It's not a lot of stuff. We don't do anything really. But things like it's real and practical camera, some CG stuff. So going back out, people making no CG or film volumes. It's kind of
because the story that America, we also I think the issues. The fact that the master so strict, she had to just free fashion. That was more experience.
I don't remember it being. I remember some Chelsea studios at hospital, but at least 30 heads of different creators because being very everybody buying everybody else's head. Not for long. Everybody thinks they hot really not so bad for It's pretty smelly. But there doesn't finish it. Just get off. It was pretty easy.
Any questions for? Right, that's fine. So,
So very quickly, so every year, we're saying we do, when we go on that, lots of build up, and people like Christmas, when we install all of it. We're also going to think about lovely guests and our rituals. So